Let the tax wars begin. Welcome back, everyone. It's Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Today, we're going to talk about the trend which we are seeing, and one country in particular, which is Greece, and their move to provide tax incentives to attract foreigners there, and how this might be interesting to you or somebody that you know. Before we get into that, though, and we're going to cover all the details, don't worry, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, the like button if you like the video. If not, please tell me why in the comments or ask any questions, etc. If you're interested at all in these subjects about how to reduce your international tax, how to go and set up a company internationally, open offshore bank accounts, get second passports, residencies, citizenships, etc., please reach out to us. You can book a call with me if you're interested. cardio.fm/Michael Rosmer. There's a link below in the description, or you can visit our websites, offshorecitizen.net and offshorecapitalist.com. All right, so one of the things that I've been mentioning to people, I think is going to happen, and kind of we now have started to see it, is there's kind of this bifurcation within Europe, okay? And this is the southern European countries are decimated, okay? Big problems. And as a result, their attitude, what they're going to try and do over the next while, and now we're seeing the start of it, and we're just getting started, by the way, is quite different than the northern European countries. Okay, so the trend in the northern European countries have been tax the rich, more socialism, more regulation, etc. Right? In the southern European countries, they've got high taxes. Right? If you go to Spain, if you go to Portugal, if you go to Italy, if you go to Greece, etc. These places have high taxes. However, the difference is that they're very non-productive. So if you go to Germany, Germany works kind of okay, right? If you go to Sweden, it works kind of okay, maybe pretty good by some people's standards. UK works pretty okay. UK, I'll kind of put in its own category yet, and Ireland, because they're a little bit more competitive. But these other countries are not, right? Their productivity is low. So if you look at a place like Greece, Greece has been suffering in austerity for 10 years now, right? And at a certain point, you can't say, hey, things have gotten worse, let's do even deeper austerity. They've had a massive number of people, I think it's like 800,000 people leave over whatever it is, like a 8-year period or something like that. And these are typically a lot of the most productive, the best, the brightest, the most ambitious, etc., who are leaving. And what does that mean? It means incomes fall. I was just reading the stats. I think they said they expect that the GDP of Greece will decrease by 9% this year, okay? And they've finally come around and started being smart. They hired, I think it was this year, the guy who created the e-residency program for Estonia to come in and help work with Greece. When I heard that, I was like, okay, that's kind of good, but I'm not necessarily sure whether they'll let this guy kind of bring in advanced policies. But we're seeing all kinds of signs of it. I mentioned a little while ago a new tax policy in Greece for pensioners where they could come and pay a very competitive rate. I'll go in the future details about another program they have for very high income earners, which is super attractive. But today we're going to talk about their digital nomad or digital migrant residency program. And what's different between this and I'm going to do a series on Estonia, on a bunch of these other countries, Iceland, etc., that have digital nomad visas, is those are just short stay visas, meaning like they allow you to stay 6 months or a year, something like that, but they're not actually residency permits. This is attracting people to become residents in Greece. And it's going to be super interesting over the next while to see what happens, because this trend of high taxes that has been kind of, cohesively pushed by the EU, right? The EU has been, they brought in the anti-tax avoidance directive. They've kind of put this collective pressure on low tax countries saying, hey, you can't do that, and trying to get them to raise their taxes, trying to get them to enforce stricter monitoring policies, etc. Well, what you're finally seeing is actual EU member states kind of rebelling from that and saying, look, we can't afford this. We need to attract people. And how are we going to do that? And this is part of a broader trend that I've been saying is going to happen. You're going to see this more, and this is why, if you're not already location independent, you should get location independent. Look, here is the future of the world. The future of the world is people in large numbers are going to be able to work wherever they want. If they can work wherever they want, where are they going to choose to go? It's, in my view, primarily going to be based on two factors with maybe two other kind of side factors. So number one, where's the weather good, right? people generally speaking are not going to want to live in Finland. It's just not going to be what's going to happen. Why? Because it's miserable in Helsinki, right? Or let alone other places. I mean, I was there in August and I felt like it was, I don't know, November in Canada. Like it's not good. People are not going to want to be there by and large. They're going to go where it's sunny, where it's nice, etc. It's this kind of fantasy dream of like living on the beach, etc. So people are going to be migrating south, right? Second of all, they're going to go where their costs are low, and those costs are based on two things primarily. One is based on taxes, which can be, as you make more money, a significant cost. The other is, your cost of living, right? It's hard to justify living in London or New York or Hong Kong or something like this if you don't need to be there, right? For a long time, it was like, okay, well, you could earn a lot more in San Francisco than you could in, I don't know, Great Falls, Montana. But the reality is today, it's like, well, I can work from anywhere, so why am I paying this exorbitant rent? Why am I paying these ridiculous prices, okay? So what that's going to mean is we're going to see moves in where people are going. It will affect real estate markets. It will affect the policies of countries as countries try and attract people. And then other countries are going to try and keep people. It's going to be a very, very interesting time over this, I would say, the next 10 years or so as we kind of navigate this situation. I think we're going to see quite a bit more selfishness within countries in the EU. We've seen this year that the EU is not at all united, okay? So with all that in mind, what has Greece done? What Greece has done is they have created a program for people who are essentially location-independent workers to be able to migrate to Greece, and for a period of 7 years, they can get a 50% tax reduction, okay? Basically, whatever your income is, half of it doesn't have to be subject to tax, and so effectively you cut the tax rate in half. If you were at 44%, now you're at 22%. Now, does this give you an amazingly low tax rate? No, this does not give you an amazingly low tax rate. But on the other hand, a lot of people have not wanted to move to Greece. It's one of these funny things that kind of the socialist-minded people will say, oh, we can just tax people, oh, they won't leave. It's so good here. No, they won't. They will leave. The problem is that historically they didn't really have so many options, right? Today, they have more and more options, and countries are realizing this, and they're going to start attracting them. So we're seeing this in Italy. We saw it in Portugal, starting with the non-habitual. Portugal was kind of ahead of the wave, right? Now we're seeing it with Greece. We're seeing it more with Italy. We're going to see it with Croatia. They're talking about bringing something in. There's going to be all kinds of places, and it's going to create a very, very interesting environment and probably a lot of opportunities for people who like that. So if you're interested in Greece, here's the deal. So you can move there. Perfect. Great. Straightforward enough. What do you need in order to qualify for this? So first of all, as I said, it's a 7-year program, okay? Meaning that you get that tax benefit for 7 years. We'll see what happens after that because, of course, this is just asking people to go and leave, right? But, we'll see. The second thing is you cannot apply if you have been a resident there, a tax resident there in the last 7 years. So it's interesting. I have some Greek friends who are livid that this does not apply to them because they were previously tax resident there. And so they would love to go back, but can't take advantage of it right now. So anyway, you have to have been out. You can be Greek. It can be for Greeks or non-Greeks who have not been tax resident there over the last 7 years. You can get this 50% tax reduction. I should note, this is proposed. It hasn't officially passed yet. It will hopefully pass this month before the end. And it might be really interesting for some people. I know some people who just love Greece. They love the laid-back lifestyle. Obviously, the weather is great. You can be on the islands. You can be on beaches. You can, lots of people really like Greece. Greece, maybe not so much mine, which, by the way, comes back to the last two factors that I think are relevant to where people will move. Safety, of course, people typically won't. And, quality of life, amenities, what it is that a place offers. I think those 4 factors are going to be a big deal. So anyway, if that's something that is of interest to you, if you're interested in other programs, I'm going to tell you in a future video about another one which is even more attractive coming in. So there's a bunch of these programs coming up, and yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see where the world heads in the next little while. So if you're interested in, whether it's through this, the truth is you can move places and you can take advantage of low taxes without having some favorable tax regime in certain cases. There's some ways you can structure your international affairs. You could use companies, you could use trusts, etc., that may legally reduce your tax, certainly to a large degree, and potentially allow you to defer the tax, etc. On top of that, maybe you're interested in second passports, maybe you're interested in other residencies just for quality of life, etc. Maybe you're interested in asset protection, banking, etc. Let me know. You can reach out, clarity.fm/Michael Rosmer to book a call. It's in the link below. Or you can visit our websites, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com. If you like this video, please smash the like button, click the subscribe button, the notification bell. Would love to have you comment and let us know what it is that you like. And I'm going to see you guys on the next video.